Immigration laws were rushed through the lower house in a late night sitting in Canberra yesterday. And under these laws, there are strict curfews and ankle monitoring devices on dozens of former asylum seekers who were suddenly released from immigration detention last week following a High Court ruling. Well, joining me live is criminal justice and criminology expert Dr. Terry Goldsworthy. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Yes, it was a rare bipartisan late night expedition last night. It got fiery this week. It is now going to cost the taxpayers $180,000 a month to electronically track these criminals. What's your take on this?
Look, I think this just highlights the difficulties you have when you have immigration law and immigration issues butting up against criminal law and criminal issues and offending. So, you know, we haven't seen the full reasons for the decision yet. They're still to come out, but we have seen, as you said, legislation pass where there's six main aspects: the curfews, the electronic monitoring. They can't work in childcare centres or schools. They can't, go near victims, and a few other ones there. So, I mean, it's going to be difficult and resource intensive to monitor these people. I mean, we've got, I think, 84 have been released so far, and there's some suggestion there could be another 300 plus to be released. Now, whether all of them will fall into those categories of people who've done criminal offending, I'm unsure. I don't know the particulars of all of them. But certainly there'll be a large cohort that will need to be monitored by the police in terms of the monitoring, the MDs, and then the curfew checks will require people to be going to their addresses when they're not meant to be out to make sure they're there.
Do you think these rules are enough? A lot of people are very concerned.
Yeah, look, I mean, it depends on each individual and the risks they pose to society. I mean, some of the offenders committed their offences overseas, haven't done anything in Australia. Others have come over here and committed offences in Australia. So each one would need to be considered on its own merits, and I'm sure that the law enforcement, AFP and Border Force will be doing risk assessments on them individually to prioritise who they need to look at most. But, you know, it comes back to, I guess, what caused this in the first place was the indefinite sentencing regime, which effectively was in place where these people were never going to be released. And in the criminal justice system, we reserve indefinite sentencing for the most high-risk offenders who have indicated they have no remorse and are highly likely to re-offend. So whether you could transfer that across to these people, I'm uncertain. You'd need to look at all of their offending history. But, I guess the police just going to have to prioritise the highest risks and put their resources into ensuring that those people, if they're in the community, are monitored sufficiently, that there's a deterrence factor there for them not to re-offend.
And were you satisfied with how the government dealt with this last minute?
Well, yeah, I have seen reports. There was an initial hearing where one of the High Court justices said the government was on shaky ground, which you would probably think would be an indicator that maybe you should prepare something in case the decision didn't go your way. So I don't think it's necessarily a good look that we have our government scrambling at the last minute, putting legislation through at midnight to try and fix issues that are already occurring in society. I mean, this should have been examined. It should have been considered, what if we don't win this matter, what will happen then? Well, the obvious thing is they're going to order the release of some of these people or all of these people. So it should have been better prepared. There's no doubt of that.
And with these laws, I mean, obviously we know that they were rushed. Are they going to be sustainable? Are we going to see more tweaking moving forward?
Well, a couple of things will impact it. I think one will be the full decision when it comes out, which will provide the reasons for why the High Court came to the conclusions they did. The other issue you have is that any legislation is open to appeal, as was the cause of this whole matter, was legislation being appealed. So I suspect you will see this kind of these provisions being appealed quite quickly, and people will be challenging their validity. So whether that's successful or not will remain to be seen, but certainly I suspect they'll be challenged, to be no doubt of that.
All right, Dr. Terry Goldsworthy, always great to see you. Thank you so much for your time and expertise.
Thanks, Jane.